Have you ever imagined a team that has been seemingly behind for months, suddenly arriving at one of the world's fastest circuits, with something that makes the entire paddock pause and wonder? That's what's happening to Ferrari ahead of the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa-Francorchamps. Not because they've officially announced a new component, nor because Charles Leclerc or Lewis Hamilton are claiming victory, but because there's growing evidence that Ferrari is quietly working on a major project that could change the course of the 2026 Formula One title race. And most surprising of all, a third clue has now emerged on the SF-26. A small detail believed to be the final piece of the most extreme development package Ferrari has ever brought this season. If this theory is correct, then Ferrari may no longer simply be chasing McLaren, Red Bull, or Mercedes. They are poised to become the biggest threat in the second half of the season. For the past few months, Ferrari has been pursuing a very different strategy than its rivals. Typically, a team would introduce a major upgrade package in one weekend to see its impact immediately. But Ferrari has chosen a much smarter path. They broke development into so many small pieces that no single team truly grasped the overall concept of their car. Each race introduced only a small change. A new floor. A minor revision to the side pods. A diffuser adjustment. A slight change to the rear suspension. All of this seemed normal in isolation. But when all the pieces of the puzzle began to fit together, the bigger picture began to emerge. The first clue came a few races ago when Ferrari introduced a new floor design. Many considered the change insignificant. But GPS data showed something different. The SF-26 began carrying higher speeds in fast corners without losing stability. This meant the airflow under the car became much more efficient. Ferrari had managed to increase downforce without producing excessive drag. In modern Formula One, such improvements are extremely difficult to achieve because every millimeter of change can affect the car's entire character. Then came the second clue. Ferrari revised the rear suspension. Again, the change seemed simple. But the drivers felt its impact immediately. Charles Leclerc said the car was much easier to control exiting corners. Traction improved, the rear tires were more stable, and the car's balance felt much more consistent throughout the race. Even Lewis Hamilton, known for his keen eye for car characteristics, has begun to comment positively on the development of the SF-26. Many observers believe that Hamilton's input is beginning to have a significant impact on Ferrari's development direction. But that's only the beginning. Now, ahead of the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa, the entire paddock's attention is focused on the third clue. Several photographers have captured changes to the rear of the SF-26. The bodywork appears sleeker. The cooling ducts appear different. The rear wing uses a new, much more aggressive configuration for high-speed racing. Even some small details around the beam wing and diffuser appear to have undergone revisions never before used by Ferrari. Why are these changes so important? Because Spa-Francorchamps is no ordinary circuit. This 7-kilometer-long track is a place where aerodynamic efficiency is tested to the limit. The car must be incredibly fast on the Kemmel Straight, but still have exceptional grip through Eau Rouge, Ry-Dillon, Pouhon, and Blanchimont. A small setup error can cost a driver several tenths of a second per lap. This is where Ferrari appears to be taking a very bold step. Instead of increasing downforce as much as possible, as many teams typically do, Ferrari is trying to drastically reduce drag. This philosophy sounds risky. The car will certainly be faster on the straights, but if it loses too much downforce, the driver will struggle to control the car in fast corners. But Maranello's engineers seem confident they have found the balance they've been searching for. If this is true, the SF-26 could be the most aerodynamically efficient car of the season. It's no surprise that the atmosphere in the paddock has begun to change. Mercedes engineers were seen several times looking at the Ferrari's rear area. Television cameras also caught Red Bull staff lingering around the Ferrari garage before practice began. In Formula One, such actions are no accident. When a team begins to attract the attention of its rivals even before the car is unveiled, it's no surprise that the atmosphere in the paddock has changed. When they hit the track, there's usually something very interesting to observe. McLaren is also reportedly starting to increase their focus on Ferrari. McLaren has long been considered a benchmark in aerodynamic efficiency. However, Ferrari's rapid development has left them feeling uneasy. The previously significant performance gap is now shrinking steadily from race to race. Behind all this progress, one figure has become the center of attention: Lewis Hamilton. Since joining Ferrari, many have questioned whether the seven-time world champion can still make a significant impact. But slowly, the answers are beginning to emerge. Hamilton may not be the fastest driver every weekend, but his experience in developing cars is a valuable asset. During his years with Mercedes, Hamilton has been known for his uncanny ability to explain the car's characteristics to engineers. This ability is now helping Ferrari understand the SF-26 weaknesses in greater detail. Charles Leclerc himself also appears to be enjoying these developments. The Monegasque driver has repeatedly stated that the car now gives him greater confidence when entering fast corners. For a driver, confidence is often far more important than a few extra horsepower. When a driver believes in his car, he's willing to brake later, accelerate faster through corners, and take risks that were previously impossible. However, Ferrari is aware that the biggest challenge at Spa isn't just speed. Belgian weather is notoriously unpredictable. Skies can be clear at the start of a session, then turn into torrential rain just minutes later. Often, the first sector is dry while the third is drenched in rain. Such conditions can change an entire race strategy in an instant. If Ferrari's new aerodynamic package is too specific to dry conditions, they could lose their advantage when it rains. Conversely, if their new concept remains effective across a wide range of track conditions, Ferrari will have a very dangerous weapon for the remainder of the season. Beyond aerodynamics, another factor that has made many analysts increasingly optimistic about Ferrari is tire management. Earlier in the season, the SF-26 often suffered from significant tire degradation during long stints. This problem made it difficult for Ferrari to maintain performance until the end of the race. However, data from the last few races suggests a different situation. Tire temperatures are more stable, whereas reduced, and the car's speed remains consistent despite the increasingly lighter fuel consumption. If this positive trend continues at Spa, Ferrari will not only be strong in qualifying, but also highly competitive throughout the full race. Now all eyes are on the first free practice session. That's where all the theories will begin to be tested. Is the third clue really the final piece of Ferrari's revolutionary package? Or is it all just an illusion created by paddock speculation? One thing is certain, Ferrari has managed to do something rare in modern Formula One. They've intrigued all their rivals. They've forced the major teams to divert their attention from their own car development to observe what Maranello is up to. And if all these pieces of the puzzle truly fit together, then the Belgian Grand Prix could be the beginning of the Ferrari revival that fans around the world have long been waiting for. Now one big question remains. Is the SF-26 truly ready to shock the world at Spa and usher in a new era for Ferrari in the 2026 season? Or will the immense pressure prevent this extreme package from fulfilling its potential? The answer will soon be revealed when the green lights turn, the V6 hybrid engines roar down the Spa-Francorchamps track, and Ferrari finally reveals all the secrets they've been keeping hidden. If analysts' predictions are correct, this weekend's race will be more than just another Grand Prix. It could be a turning point for the 2026 Formula One season. Ahead of the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa-Francorchamps, the entire Formula One world's attention is once again focused on Ferrari. The legendary Maranello team is reportedly bringing a new aerodynamic package that has become a hot topic in the paddock. This isn't just any update, but a new rear wing design that some observers have dubbed the Macarena wing due to its unique shape and departure from previous configurations. In fact, initial reports suggest that this design has the potential to increase top speed by around 11 km per hour under certain conditions. While this figure hasn't been officially confirmed by Ferrari, if it can be achieved on track, this update could be one of the most important innovations of the season. Spa-Francorchamps has always been a prime venue for testing the aerodynamic efficiency of a Formula One car. Unlike circuits that prioritize high downforce, Spa forces each team to find a near-perfect balance between straight-line speed and stability in fast corners. With a track length of over 7 kilometers, sections like the Kemmel Straight are ideal locations to see which car has the best aerodynamic efficiency. Over the past few races, Ferrari has actually shown quite promising progress. The SF-26 appears increasingly competitive in intermediate and slow corners thanks to a series of updates to the floor diffuser and undercarriage airflow system. However, one weakness that continues to emerge in GPS data analysis is its top straight-line speed, which is often inferior to Red Bull and McLaren. The difference isn't always significant, but in modern Formula One, a loss of just 3 to 5 km per hour is enough to make it difficult for drivers to overtake or maintain position. That's why Ferrari chose to focus on the rear of the car. According to various technical analyses, Maranello engineers are not only trying to create a wing that produces less drag, but also maintains the car's stability through high-speed corners. This challenge has been a major challenge for nearly every Formula One team for years. When the Ferrari car was first seen in the garage with its new configuration, photographers immediately focused on the rear. The shape of the main flap, the design of the end plate, and even the profile of the wing elements were all noticeably different from the previous specification. Some technical analysts even suspect that Ferrari has changed the way the airflow is released when Doctors is activated. If these allegations are correct, Ferrari's Doctors system could produce a greater reduction in air resistance than the previous design. This is why the 11 km per hour figure has become so widely discussed. In computer simulations, a significant reduction in drag can indeed result in an increase in top speed. However, simulations are only the first step. What ultimately determines the car's performance on a real track, with constantly changing wind conditions, asphalt temperatures, tire characteristics, and fuel loads. However, Ferrari is believed not to sacrifice stability in pursuit of top speed. The legendary Eau Rouge and Rydillon corners are the ultimate test. A car with too little downforce can lose balance when navigating this combination of corners at speeds exceeding 300 km per hour. Therefore, if Ferrari truly manages to gain additional speed without sacrificing grip, it would be a tremendous achievement for their aerodynamics department. This advantage would also be very helpful when entering the Doctors zone. In recent races, Ferrari has repeatedly failed to capitalize on overtaking opportunities, even when within Doctors activation range. If the car can now travel a few kilometers per hour faster, the chances of overtaking will increase significantly. The same thing applies when it comes to defending your position against attacks from drivers behind. It's no surprise that rival teams are paying close attention to every detail of Ferrari's updates. Engineers from Red Bull, Mercedes, McLaren and Aston Martin are known to constantly monitor their competitors' innovations through high-resolution photography and visual analysis. Even small changes in flap angle or end plate shape can provide clues to the aerodynamic philosophy being developed. Red Bull certainly won't be standing still. The Milton Keynes-based team has been known for its exceptional aerodynamic efficiency over the past few seasons. Their cars are capable of generating significant downforce with relatively low air resistance. If Ferrari now starts to approach that level of efficiency, the competition in the second half of the season will be much more exciting. Are in a somewhat similar position. They continue to introduce updates at almost every race and hope to regain their position as a major challenger. Ferrari's innovations are putting increasing pressure on Mercedes, as the performance gap between the top teams is expected to narrow. Meanwhile, McLaren, having performed consistently throughout the season, certainly doesn't want to lose their lead. They understand that Spa is a track where aerodynamic efficiency can yield significant lap time gains. If Ferrari truly succeeds in fixing its main weakness, McLaren will have to work even harder to maintain their lead. Interestingly, some analysts also suspect that Ferrari's new wing isn't just designed for Spa. Its characteristics are considered particularly well suited to Monza, known as the Temple of Speed. If this is true, Ferrari may be preparing a special package for 2 key races in a row. This strategy suggests that their development isn't simply about chasing a single weekend result, but rather about building momentum for the rest of the season. Ferrari drivers were reportedly quite satisfied with the car's balance during simulator sessions. They felt the car was more efficient on the straights without losing confidence when entering fast corners. While simulations don't always mirror real-life race conditions, these initial responses are a positive sign for the team. However, Formula One has proven time and again that major updates don't always work immediately. There are numerous examples where new packages have thrown cars off balance, leading to them being abandoned after just one race weekend. That's why Ferrari remains cautious and will likely gather as much data as possible during free practice sessions before deciding on the final configuration for qualifying and the race. If practice results show consistent improvement, it's not impossible that Ferrari will be one of the favorites for pole position at Spa. Furthermore, an increase in top speed could also open up the opportunity for a victory that has been elusive when battling on the straights against key rivals. Now all attention is on the first free practice session. That's where all the speculation will begin to be answered. Will the
Love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mine.